What's good, everyone? My name is Suzarex, also known as Salih Fisher. And earlier, I did a live stream topic in which I was talking about people needing to stop breaking the bank on holidays for people who don't necessarily care about them the same way that they do. Some of you guys got it and you guys rocked out with me, and that was cool. While others actually started to come at me in text messages and stuff who actually watched the video. They're like, yo, Sal, like, what's up with you? Like, what you mean? Like, we're not supposed to go and celebrate Christmas with everybody? That's what you're saying? I'm like, nah, like, did you actually watch the video and actually hear the points? And to my dismay, they didn't. So, just so there's no other type of confusion on this, we're just going to break it down. Some of the videos I'm going to start making in the future, I'm just going to start breaking those down so that we can actually have like full clarity of exactly what I mean and exactly what I said and why I said it. That way it's fair. Anyway, the whole point of that specific topic was to go and bring notice to each and every single person who I understand and even that I don't know, who have always been placed into a certain position to where the family wants things, the kids want things, your girlfriend's begging for stuff, and like, you don't got it like that. You don't have the money. You don't necessarily have everything completely and utterly organized when it comes to your finances. And you're literally one sneeze away from being homeless and not being able to go and pay your rent or getting things turned off like the electric or something or the heat. And it's like almost every single year it's the same type of problem. You guys want to go and make a bunch of people who don't necessarily care about y'all at all in the same way that y'all go and love and care about them or appreciate you in any way, shape, or form, and thinking that a couple of gifts or dropping a bag or two on some gifts is actually going to mean anything. The reality is that if your family doesn't appreciate the things that you've done for them, the sacrifices that you've made to get that money and to get to that point in the slightest, then they're not really your family. They don't appreciate you in the way that it needs to be appreciated. They're not paying attention to what you're doing or your life. None of this stuff is cheap. Like rent, bills, electric, water, heat, all that stuff comes out of blood, sweat, and tears and time invested into a fucking job. You have to be able to understand who is truly there for you and who's really just trying to go and get a free ride with things. Now, with kids specifically, all right, they're going to get a free pass to a great extent if they're small. You have to go and give them some type of good time so they can understand that, hey, not everything in the world is bad. However, they're like, adult teenagers and stuff, like fresh out of high school or actually even further than that, like whole grown-ass adults. You don't need to be breaking the bank over them. You don't need to be breaking the bank over them. They'll be lucky that they're going to get at least one gift or two gifts, and then you're still paying for the whole dinner and the lunch and everything else in between the day before that actually happens. Like the day before as well as the day of. So you're paying for Christmas Eve dinner, Christmas breakfast, Christmas dinner, as well as the actual gifts themselves. And I can go and almost guarantee in most of y'all's situations, which is mostly the dudes, y'all are not getting any type of help. Y'all aren't getting any real significant reparations, no accommodations, no nothing for your wallet. Y'all are just spending frivolously, overly spending frivolously on a bunch of stuff that your families are not going to care about in the next month, or sometimes even in the next week. You have to stop doing this. You have to get some balls on you. You got to pick up your balls and say no. Or this is exactly what will be happening, and if you don't like it, then just tough. You got to start being the adults of your household. Like, either if you're the men, be the men. If you're the women, then just go and be the top woman of the house. If you're the one, in some cases, I don't really condone this at all, but every now and then there might be a case where a woman is actually like the head of the house because the guy's a beta male, or even lesser than that, and they don't necessarily want to go and pay for much, or they're just basically doing the roles that women would typically be doing almost all the time, every time. If you're the head of household in general, regardless of you're a man or woman, do not consistently keep overspending on things that y'all don't need and overspending on your families for things that they don't necessarily care about. Even if you ask them like what exactly they want, a lot of you guys like to try to go and fulfill their lists. And yeah, it might be great if you actually have it because, yeah, you guys will have like a great time. You guys have something to talk about, and you guys don't necessarily have to go and keep worrying about like a bunch of money and bills and rent and everything because you already got that locked down a long time ago. However, for the majority of us who are not rich We're not six-figure earners. We're none of these things, and we're consistently literally one sneeze away from eviction or being late on our rent payments and stuff. You don't have that luxury. You don't have the luxury to go and keep trying to pretend to be bougie. You can't just dabble between poverty and being bougie and thinking that things are just going to go back to normal the very next day after the holiday is over with. Like, nah, you're going to suffer a consequence, and that consequence is either going to be you can't pay your rent, or you're not going to be able to go and afford food, or you're not going to be able to go and pay a bill in general. And either way, all of those scenarios are horrible, and they're fixable. So, when I tell you guys, stop overspending on the holidays, I mean that. Like, if you got it like that, it's fine, it's cool. Because you have disposable income to where if you go and drop a bag or two, $500, $20, $50, even $100, it doesn't affect you. It's not going to hurt you. It's not necessarily going to be the end of the world for you at all, actually. You might actually enjoy just giving out gifts and just getting like all the nice little holiday cheers and stuff from people, and people saying thank you and their appreciations and stuff, and go and get off on their smiles. Some people are like that, and that's cool if that's your thing. But for the rest of us, again, that aren't like that, you must stop. You're hurting yourself, and also you're hurting your families too by doing that, because say, for instance, that you go and waste the rent money, or at least half the rent money, the previous day on Christmas Day. And then you have that same week for New Year's. They're going to still be expecting double presents, usually. Not everyone, but usually. What are you going to do between the Christmas dinner, the New Year's dinner, as well as the presents between both holidays so close by, in addition to the first coming up, and you still need to go and pay rent and bills and everything else? Like, overall, it's just not a good career move. It's not a good career move at all. Like, you got to start thinking better. You got to start thinking smarter. You have to start taking a step back, looking at your surroundings and understanding what is truly right and what is just illogically wrong, and just stop dwelling into it. Like, you can't just keep doing that and just thinking that this is going to be great. I mean, you guys are going to just do like whatever y'all feel like it at the end of the day, or you guys are going to consistently keep getting pressured by whoever you guys are with. However, I'm telling you guys, it's not necessarily the end of the world if you just decide not to do it. Actually, it's already been proven consistently, if you guys don't do holidays consistently, like, you guys will actually start making some more money. For instance, if you guys don't do Christmas, but you guys do New Year's, and you start getting paid the next week or that same day or that same week, then it's not too bad. You're still going to have to go and pay that rent, but it's still not going to be as bad, because they're not going to be expecting as much. Or at least they're not supposed to be expecting as much. If you don't do either holiday, you're good. You're going to save your money, and then you also have a little bit of savings left, so that this month's taken care of, the next month's taken care of, any bills, any type of situations or emergencies are taken care of, and you still might have a little something left over to where you can go and get at least a present or two for both yourself as well as whoever else that you want to care about. So things can still work if you economize your assets correctly and you actually place your money towards things that actually matter. But you got to know when and when not to go and just bust down the bank just because your family is feeling some type of way because they want to feel amazing during a holiday. Remember, a holiday is just a day. You don't always necessarily have to go and like sacrifice everything for it just to go and make a bunch of people happy and appreciate you just temporarily, because I can almost guarantee the very next day of the next week, they're going to be acting exactly the same way that they were before the holiday even came up, and it'll be forgotten about, or stuff's going to start breaking, or things are going to start going missing. It's usually how it goes with the presents. Either way, if you guys have any questions or concerns, make sure to go on, just leave it inside the comment section below. Or if you guys agree with me or disagree with me about not overspending on holidays, especially Christmas and New Year's, make sure to also go and place it inside the comment section below. I might actually even debate you if you really have like a good substantiating point. And we can go and make like a whole live stream or a video about it. And I really have no problem with that. But I still stand by exactly what I said. Stop overspending on holidays. Stop breaking the bank on the holidays for people who aren't going to appreciate what you go and give them in the same way that you think that they're supposed to go and appreciate the things that you give them. It doesn't make any sense. You're literally hurting yourself each and every single time you decide to do this. Also, make sure to go and check out the new link. I actually created a Patreon. If you guys want to go and support the shows, support the channels or anything, or just go and become part of like my new community, my new serious community that's actually sticking around for a while. Make sure to go to the link inside the description box below, as well as also checking out the Salih Fisher show. There'll also be a link inside the description box for that as well. Besides that, welcome to the new year. Happy holidays. Be safe out there, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.